Hello guys, welcome back for another installment of Kerfuffle Kitchen. Today we're doing steak and potatoes, so real classic. I mean, it's so easy. So what I decided to do is I'm going to do my potatoes three ways, show you how I do it traditionally, a little high class, and then a potato skin, just for fun. Okay, so today we're going to start by cooking the steak first. And when you do steak, it's best to let it cool to room temperature and season it and wait about 5 to 10, actually no, half an hour. Yeah, so season it right when it's almost room temperature. Wait about half an hour to an hour. And then that way your steak's going to release all its juices. As you can see, it's super juicy. Yes, sirree. Make sure you have a hot pan. I have a cast iron skillet. It's just smoking right now, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in the cast iron. And listen to that thing sizzle. It's super yummy. But super sexy sounding. Okay, now what is this? While this guy cooks, it's going to take about maybe 2, 3, 4 minutes. I'm going to do the potatoes real quick, and y'all can watch me do that. Okay, so when you do the potatoes, make sure they're hot. So I just pulled these off the stove a few minutes ago, so they're nice and steamy. You want to take your butter and cheese mixture. I've cubed each one so they break down a little faster. And just scoop them into your potatoes. Now what you want to do is you want to mash them all together. I know I have a bunch of bowls, but that's why I'm going to show you, like I said, 3 different ways. Okay. I don't have a steady grip. Okay, now they're mashed, I'll just mix it up. And this is kind of like how I do potatoes, you know. I like to put a little bit of cheese in them, a little bit of jalapeno, and it's always important to put butter, you know, and salt as you go. You never want to salt in the beginning. You want to mash your potatoes up and see how they do texture-wise before you salt them. That way you can get a good consistency going. Okie dokie. I also like to add a little bit of heavy cream. It gives it a little bit more creaminess to the the potatoes. I just hear that sizzling of the steak and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to have some. It's going to be great. As I said, I'm usually doing keto, but today I'm having a little bit of a cheat day so I can show you guys how delicious all this stuff is. Ooh, I can smell the steak from here. It smells great. Another little tip, when you use a cast iron, just, you know, let it do its thing. Don't try to force it. Because when you force it, you're going to have a bad time with your steak because you're going to rip it apart. The steak will release from the cast iron by itself. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, so let's check on our steak there. Because I can smell it from here. Oh yeah. So yeah, like I said, it will release from the pan when it's ready. Don't force it. In fact, actually, let's get a better look at this real quick. See, like I'm saying, like, do not force it. It's got a nice crust on it. You want to look for that crust because, you know, crusts are great. They're crispy, they're crunchy. I personally like to sear the sides of my steak just to get that fat cap nice and crispy. I know, people are like, why do you need a fat cap? Because that is flavor, and flavor is great. I mean, let me take you to Flavor Town. Let me take you to Flavor Town. Okay. Okay. Now that the steak has been cooking on the one side, we're going to now season the steak a little bit. So what we're going to do, we're going to add, damn, why am I coughing? We're going to add a little bit of butter. See butter right there. We're going to add it just on top of the steak because the steak just came out really hot. Okay, I'm going to adjust the camera so everyone can see. Let's see. You know what? I'm not going to adjust it. Okay. So I'm going to put the butter on top of the steak. And as the butter starts to melt, when it's like, and the meat starts to release its juices, same process. You don't want to, mess with it too much. Because it's going to do its thing. It's going to melt, and once it starts melting, you want to come and start seasoning it with a little bit more fancy spices. But we'll get that later. Okay, so we got our potato mixture, nice and delicious. Yes, nice and delicious. And so like I said, we're going to do potatoes 3 ways. So my first way is I'm going to just do a potato skin, and it's going to have, you know, just the cheese and the butter, you know, why not? Okay, now we're going to step it up a notch, and we're going to put roasted jalapenos in. Okay? And then we're also going to put bacon. Because we don't like bacon. I make this bacon myself, by the way. It's homemade cooked pork belly. If you don't know what pork belly is, I do a couple videos on it. Okay, so here we go. Mix it all up. Same thing again. Like I said, we're going to do potatoes 3 ways. Do your other skin. And I like to crisp them up before I stuff them. Just a little bit. And that way, you're going to have a nice little steak. Look at me garnishing as I go. Okay. Back to the steak. I gotta stop. Okay. So now the butter has started to melt. As you can see, the smoke is rising. What you want to do is you want to turn the heat down just a little bit, like medium high. Okay. And now we're going to add our garlic and rosemary. I'm just going to push this up a little bit so it gets onto the top. Add our garlic and rosemary. Tilt the pan towards you. And as the butter melts into the pan, you just want to constantly sprinkle this back onto the steak. That way nothing's starting to burn. Bam. Bam. Makes a nice little garlic butter. There we go. Garlic's actually a good sweetener. Ha, buddy. It's a good dang it, what am I trying to say? It's a good meat softener. There we go. My goodness, I don't know why I couldn't say that. If you like minced or tough meat and garlic and like butter, it should be a lot softer because they kind of tend to go hand in hand. Okay, so my steak is almost done. And I'm just doing it like this, so if you can see right there, it's bubbling. It's the excess butter and the fat from the ribeye, making it a little bit more crispy. Okay, so always have your rag handy. Okay, so now that it's been cooking a little bit more, let me look at the, oh yeah. All right. And you never want your steak to dry out. So like I said, just constantly butter it as you go. And don't worry about it not getting crispy because it's going to get plenty of crispy as you just kind of, you know, toss it. As for butter, you only need a couple tablespoons. Oh yeah. I'm going to season a little bit more because I like it a little salty. Now I like to use sea salt. It's got a little bit more minerals in it. I'm all about that, you know, mineral life. Okay. So the steak's almost done. The best thing you can do for your steak is you kind of let it rest. So once my steak is done, I like to do a medium, rare medium at most. Is I am going to let it rest and we'll come back and cut it and make it look sexy. Okay, see you in a bit. And we're back. So I let this guy, after it was done in the pan, I let him now rest for about 6-7 minutes. And it's usually 5 minutes per inch of meat. or 10 to 20 minutes if you have a nice big cut. Anyway, let's slice into this guy and see how he is. You want to let it rest on a wire rack, because if you let it rest in a bowl or a plate, the juices could just make your meat a little soggy, and you want that nice crust. See? Nice crust. Okay, so let's dig into this guy. Oh yeah. Oh, you gotta let that meat rest, because you know what? You got a nice medium rare going right here, or medium rare. Yeah, close enough. But yeah, oh my God, I can't wait to get in this in a minute. You always want to cut it on a bias and with the grain of the meat. Now, how you can tell the grain is you want to just look at your meat before you cook it, and basically, if you want to go, you don't want to go like against the grain, because then you're gonna tear your steak up. As you can tell, I'm pretty much going with it. Oh God, I mean, look at that. It looks so good. Still piping hot on the inside, so letting it rest doesn't make it cold. It actually helps it better because it cooks a little bit more. If you let it rest for longer, it will cook more internally. Oh God, I'm just gonna. Oh, look at that. Gristle. I like gristle. Okay. Finish this guy up right here. Okie dokie. And that's it. That's how you do a nice ribeye on a cast iron, and then potatoes 3 ways. Here, let's get a look at everything. So we got the steak right here. Medium rare right there. Perfect. And then we have the potatoes 3 ways. So you have the bacon jalapeno cheddar. You have the stuffed black pepper and cheddar cheese. And then you have the stuffed bacon jalapeno and cheddar with a brown butter reduction. So in order to do that, just reduce the butter and all that fun stuff. Anyway, guys, we're going to end the video here today. And whatever you want, recommend, because as you can see, I just did vegan before this, and now it's carnivorous. So, like, I can do the entire world. You just got to let me know what y'all want to see. Okay. As I always say, though, I bid ye adieu. I don't always say it, but today I'm saying it. I bid ye adieu. 2 times.